Why America Hates Iran. In 1977, Jimmy Carter stood inside Iran's royal palace, raised his glass, and called Iran an island of stability in a turbulent world. 2 years later, American diplomats were blindfolded, dragged through the streets of Tehran, and held prisoner for 444 days. So what happened? How did the closest alliance in the Middle East collapse into one of the most dangerous rivalries on Earth in less than 24 months? And here's the question almost nobody asks. Was America's hatred of Iran actually America's fault? Stay with me, because the real story is far more shocking than most people realize. Section 1. When Iran was America's best ally. Most people assume America and Iran were always enemies. They weren't. For nearly 3 decades, Iran was one of Washington's most valuable allies. The Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, was America's man in the Middle East, and America made sure he stayed in power. Weapons, intelligence, billions of dollars. In fact, in 1953, the CIA helped overthrow Iran's elected prime minister in a covert operation and restored the Shah to power. Iran became the crown jewel of American strategy. But while the Shah grew richer and more powerful, many ordinary Iranians were watching, and they were angry. Iran had enormous oil wealth, yet many citizens struggled economically. Meanwhile, the king lived lavishly, hosted Western leaders, and ruled through a feared secret police force known as SAVAK. Arrests, torture, disappearances. The anger was building quietly for years, until one day it exploded. Section 2. The Revolution. 1979. Millions of Iranians flooded the streets. Across the entire country, the Shah, backed by the most powerful nation on earth, fled Iran. No final battle. No resistance. Just gone. Into that vacuum stepped a man America had underestimated. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, a 76-year-old religious scholar living in exile in France. When he returned to Iran, 8 million people came out to greet him. Within weeks, Iran had a new government, a new identity, and a new enemy. That enemy was the United States. Section 3. The Hostage Crisis. November 4, 1979. Iranian students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. Within hours, 66 American diplomats and staff were taken hostage. A rescue mission was attempted, but it failed when helicopters crashed in the desert. 8 American soldiers died. For 444 days, Americans watched the news each morning hoping the crisis would end. It didn't. The hostages were finally released in January 1981, the day Ronald Reagan became president. Those 444 days left a deep scar in American politics. Section 4. The War That Was Never Declared. When Saddam Hussein invaded Iran in 1980, the United States quietly supported Iraq. Intelligence, weapons, loans. The Iran-Iraq War lasted 8 brutal years. Up to 1 million people died. Iran never forgot who supported its enemy. Section 5. The Shadow War. After that, the conflict moved into the shadows. Iran supported armed groups across the Middle East. America called them terrorists. Iran called them resistance movements. The result was a silent war. Cyber attacks, assassinations, proxy conflicts, and covert operations. Neither country declared war, but both continued fighting. Section 6. The Nuclear Fear. Then came the most dangerous issue: Iran's nuclear program. Iran says it wants nuclear energy, but the United States and its allies fear Iran could eventually build a nuclear weapon. If that happens, the balance of power in the Middle East could change overnight. Saudi Arabia might pursue one. Turkey might follow. Egypt too. To stop that, the United States imposed harsh sanctions on Iran's economy. A nuclear deal was signed in 2015. It was abandoned in 2018. Negotiations continue today, but trust between the two countries remains extremely low. Final section. The Dangerous Reality. Today, the rivalry between America and Iran stretches across the Middle East. Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, the Persian Gulf. Warships from both countries patrol the same waters every day. Neither side wants a full war, but one mistake, one missile, one miscalculation could ignite something neither country can control. Final message. So why does America hate Iran? Revolution, hostages, proxy wars, nuclear fears. But the deeper reason is power and influence in the same region. When two powers compete for the same strategic space, conflict becomes almost inevitable. And somewhere between politics, propaganda, and history lies a truth neither government likes to discuss. If you found this discussion valuable, share your perspective in the comments and subscribe to the channel to continue this journey with us.